User access to macOS devices has traditionally been managed through local accounts on the device itself. While this approach can be convenient, it poses challenges for IT administrators in enforcing corporate account and password policies. In contrast, most enterprises employ identity providers, or IDPs, for user authentication, enabling them to enforce these policies on end users and secure their accounts through the IDP. To enhance security on macOS devices, Apple introduced the Platform SSO framework. When integrated with a supported IDP, Platform SSO synchronizes the end user's IDP account details with the local account on the macOS device. This allows the users to log in to their device using their IDP user account. Furthermore, Platform SSO provides single sign-on, or SSO, for various websites and apps on the device. However, this functionality does require the IDP to adopt the Platform SSO framework and integrate it into their own platforms. Several providers have already embraced Platform SSO, including Okta, Microsoft Entra ID, and Omnissa Access. Organizations can leverage Workspace ONE UEM to deploy the necessary Platform SSO configurations to their managed macOS devices. In this video, we will not delve into the configuration process of Platform SSO, but rather focus on the user experience on the device. We will discuss what the user will see and what actions they need to take on their device. For more information on configuring Platform SSO with Workspace ONE, you can scan the QR codes associated with the supported IDP of your choice. For Platform SSO to function, the end user's device must be registered with the identity provider solution. In this instance, we're utilizing Omnissa Access as the Platform SSO IDP. The end user will receive a notification indicating that registration is required. Upon clicking the notification box, the registration process commences. Initially, the user will be prompted to enter the local admin password for their device. This step grants the necessary permissions to configure the account sync process. Subsequently, the user will be prompted to enter their IDP account password. Once the registration is complete, the user will receive a notification confirming that the account is now synced with the IDP. To verify the configuration of Platform SSO, navigate to System Settings and select Users and Groups. In the Network Account Server section, you'll find that Platform SSO is set up. Additionally, by checking the local user account, you can view the Platform SSO details associated with that user. Now let's explore the capabilities of Platform SSO for the end user. In this example, we have an end user accessing Microsoft 365 online. Upon logging in, you'll observe that Safari logs the user directly in without requiring the user to enter a username or password. Similarly, when launching the locally installed version of Microsoft Excel, the user is automatically logged in. Platform SSO has proven effective with natively installed applications. However, some applications, particularly third-party browsers, may require the use of a plugin. Let's consider another example. In this scenario, we're utilizing Microsoft Entra ID as the IDP. If you intend to use Platform SSO with Google Chrome, you'll need to add the Microsoft Single Sign-On plugin to your browser. Once the plugin is installed, you'll notice that Chrome signs the user into Microsoft 365 in the same manner as we observed with Safari. The requirements for single sign-on can vary depending on the IDP. It's advisable to consult your identity provider for specific requirements. So why implement Platform SSO? Well, first, you can streamline the user authentication process. The end user only needs to log into their device once and have access to most of their resources. I say most because there's always going to be those apps and websites that don't support SSO. Second, you can use multi-factor authentication, such as Apple's Face ID and Touch ID, hardware keys, and even push notifications to authenticate. Third, the user experience. Users only have to remember one password to get into their device, and everything else becomes SSO. And finally, you can enforce your corporate password policies through your IDP. Password complexity, password expiration, and all those things can be managed for the user's IDP account, and no more worrying about the local account not being up to snuff with password policies. And you can utilize Workspace ONE UEM to do the necessary configurations.